Introduction to what we are here to chat about. Let's do this exercise together. So you are part of the rescue team, and your rescue team approaches the opening of a cave. Now there's fallen rocks have trapped a group of people inside the cave, and your goal as a rescue team is to get them out safely. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, you have a few options of behaviors, approaches. Some people call them strengths, personality traits. Let's call them actions. So knowing that your goal, and knowing that your goal is to get everybody out safely, which one of these list of behaviors, which ones would you pick, or which ones would guide you as you plan your rescue? Type it in the chat. Pick two of them and type that in the chat. When you're seeing the responses coming in?
I am. I'm going to start. I'll share. So we have some flexible. We have supportive, analytical, quick to act, flexible, analytical, trusting, methodical, quick to act, and analytical.
All right. So a lot of different behaviors, a lot of different reactions, right? But wait, we just know that we made contact with the group of people inside the cave. So knowing that we already made contact with them, what two behaviors would you pick to continue on our mission and our goal to take them out safely? Will they change? Will they be the same? Go ahead and type it in the chat.
Quick to act, methodical, supportive, flexible.
Okay.
Supportive, flexible.
Okay.
Supportive, quick to act.
So some were the same, some were different, right? But guess what? Conditions and circumstances have yet changed again. We now have a warning, a weather warning, a flood alert. We know that's going to start raining anytime, and there's a big chance of the group of people or the cave actually getting flooded, and the people are still there. So knowing this changing circumstance, which approach would you take to continue our goal? Pick one and type it in the chat.
We have quick to act, risk taking, quick to act, methodical, quick to act, quick to act.
Wow. All right, so let's all share. I mean, open your mics, and what do we share? What do we learn from that, from this little exercise that's fun to do in a webinar? What do we learn?
Well, certainly the situation oftentimes dictates the approach, as well as perhaps the strengths that you need in order to address it.
Sure. Excellent. Thank you, Melissa. Who else? So the good news is I think we did achieve our goal. We see people coming out of the cave in the picture. And another question for you, what changed between each attempt?
The circumstances surrounding the immediate problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I think circumstances, risk affects the urgency, and then it also, I think some emotions might be in play. So the last one I selected quick to act and methodical, because I think there would be a lot of anxiety, and having someone more structured would help ease the situation.
Sure. Sure, absolutely. And some of you might have chosen the same reaction all through the different circumstances, and there's not right or wrong, right? I mean, at the end, we did achieve our goal. Now, another question is, what if the goal was different? What if the goal was not only to take the, to rescue this group of people, but what if the goal was also to learn how to work better as a team? Would the reactions have been different? What if the goal was a different one? What do you think?
Most definitely, because I think like we ended with quick to act, And I think if the goal was for teamwork, it wouldn't be about quick to act, because you wouldn't be able to maybe include everyone. And I know that one of them was more like methodical and inclusive, so maybe you would take a different approach. So I think the goal influences your action.
Sure. Or we would consider maybe a different alternative if the goal was different, right? So the reason I chose to start our conversation today with an exercise like this is it's not really that different from what we have been experiencing for the last few months, right? We first had the initial shock of a pandemic and initial reactions and initial change of behaviors, and then the circumstances kept changing and changing and changing, and then we needed to react in different ways, and our organizations needed to react in different ways. So similarly to how we chose, or we think that we would do one strength over another or one approach over another, organizations probably reacted the same way, given the circumstances, given the information, and given the speed of the changes. So so that's one of the reasons where we're using this idea or this example. So where are we today? The initial shock is kind of gone. We are over the shock. Then came innovation, right? A lot of creativity, a lot of what do we do? Let's get into action. Let's look for resources. Let's look for solutions. And now where are we? It's like, okay, so all of those phases are gone now. It's like, this is still the reality. Some of the emotions are the same. Some of the information is the same. Maybe we don't have as much, maybe we have more. So what do we do, right? So we're still living in this time of uncertainty, yet what are we left with? We really are left, in my mind, with very much what we have from the beginning, what we know what to do, what we know is our strength. So today, we know, and we can all agree that our world has changed, right? And I wrote a few ideas there. Unprecedented disruption. Who would agree that almost everything has been disrupted? Probably the majority of us today, right? There's been a cascade of cancellations, closings, social distancing. So knowing that the world has changed, I was, Gwen mentioned that I do a lot of work with Gallup. And so I was reading some of the surveys, that they have data for almost everything, too much data sometimes, but I love looking at that stuff. And I thought I would share some of those statistics with you. So what are some examples of these changes that have taken place in an incredibly short, well, it doesn't feel that short, but incredibly short amount of time and really fast speed? So here's